And welcome back to Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and I give you my opinion. And you can see the DXY had an explosive move up during the night. We kind of took off from 101.542, and we got top side of the 102.140, right at the top of that symmetrical triangle, that white. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's kind of a white symmetrical triangle you see there that I sniffed out and detected today. And we got rejected off the top of that symmetrical, and now we are beginning to cool flag and come back down. The MACD is, this is the 30-minute time frame. We're beginning to have a little move down on the MACD. Not strong, but it's there. We're on the underside of the moving average with the RSI, so we'll have to see if we get rejected off that RSI when we try and make a move up to the 102.140 on the dollar. Now, last evening, let's go to the S&P 500. I told you in that update that I believe we were just going to chop around, and that's essentially what we did today. But this morning I left another update, and I let you know that move on the dollar was in motion. That was going to affect the S&P 500. And in fact, it did affect the S&P 500. We had a move down from all the way to about, where's that final wick at right there, 411.07. And then we rallied, put in a small W reversal there as the dollar began to cool down, and we are now hanging at the 413.85 on the S&P 500. 82. You can see we're still in market, still in aftermarket hours. If we're to go to 2 hour on the S&P 500, it really almost looks like we're putting in a W reversal here as well. So one of these W reversals is going to fail, and also on the 2 hour you can tell that we are top side of this very, very large symmetrical triangle that's in green. And if you go back to my other episodes, you'll see how long we've been winding up in there. That's why we've been chopping to the side back and forth for so long here. We do have the 20-day on the 2 hour. Momentum doesn't look terrible. It looks like the MACD average is about to go up, and the RSI seems to be above the average there, so it's trying to make some headway. If we can get top side of that, we're not top side. Did it just look like we were on the 2 hour? Well, in any case, we're just below top side. We did kiss that earlier today, the top of that green symmetrical triangle, or yesterday rather. So we're trying to get top side of there, and if we break, and oh my gosh, if that happened during aftermarket hours, that'd be, I wouldn't call it. You see how it's maintaining that right there, right now, the 413.66, 64. You need to maintain the 413.71, and otherwise this starts to possibly be invalidated. Although I don't think I would call it invalidated there. I would say if you break the 413.12, this small W reversal we see here on the S&P 500 will be invalidated. We did have a lot of exiting volume, incoming volume, just flagging like I said yesterday. And we are flagging the top of this channel. That's essentially what I anticipated. Now, you do know in my second update, I told you I thought we might run down to the 402.10 or about the 401.45, somewhere in there, I believe I told you, and we would put in a double bottom there. I'm still not ruling that out. If the dollar decides to heat up as it cools off and possibly puts on another bull flag, I think it is possible to put down a measured move if that dollar completes that larger cup. But that is something we're going to have to pay attention to and watch. However, I do think when we do go fill that gap, I don't think we stay there very long at all. I really don't. I could see us bouncing back pretty quick after that takes place, and if that takes place. Let's check the 4 hour on the S&P 500 just to get a better idea of what could be happening here. And let's just take a look at this a little closer. We're chop, we're average. We got room to go up on the RSI. We're just flagging right now. I want to just see. Let's check and see what kind of a trend we might have going here. Yeah, it's interesting how the dollar looks so similar in some ways to the S&P 500, even though they're running inverse to each other. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking this through right now. I mean, you could call that right there. You could. Definitely like pink right there. And then we just adjust a little more. If it'll let me. Yeah. So you could call it there and say, okay, that's okie dokie. If we break that, essentially, then we're probably finished here. So we'll leave that there as kind of like a symmetrical triangle to look at here. It's same as what we're seeing with the DXY. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin and then H-bar, and then we're out of here. And if there's any other cryptos you'd like to see, please let me know, and I will take a look at those for you on some other episode. The only one I don't do is XRP, because I know a gentleman that does XRP, and he does an excellent job with it. And I would be happy to refer you to his channel if you're an XRP fan like I am. Okay, so in any case, yeah, on the 4 hour here on Bitcoin, we're basically sitting on a bear flag still. We have yet to reclaim the 20-day. You can see that we are above the 100-day and sandwiched between the 50 and 100-day, kind of right in the center. Now, I'm not going to mark out all these sub-channels between the 29,194 and the 30,061, because I'm not going to mark out all these sub-channels because it would just be a lot. So, in any case, let's take a look at the 2 hour on Bitcoin to see if we see any other differences here. Perhaps we're trying to, we're just riding on the 200-day moving average on the 2 hour right now. It's not good. The bearish divergence is really picking up on the EMA lines. We've got decreasing exiting volume, that's a good sign. It would be best to flag here. And remember, we're kind of following the DXY. The Bitcoin responded, I believe, a little more in line what I thought might happen on the S&P 500 when the dollar dropped. We've seen a bigger move down, and that's kind of what I was anticipating on the S&P 500. But of course, like I've told you before, they don't move exactly in unison. In fact, I did the measured moves earlier, and there's I can't even remember the percentage point difference. It was maybe 12 or so from the upside and the downside. So anyway, that's what's going on with Bitcoin, and I would say that it's looking like bad, just bad all over for Bitcoin right now. Let's go to the 30-minute and see if anything is changing at all here. I just need to check and see on the 30-minute if we're having any kind of change at all that might lead us to think. The one thing is on that 2 hour there, the RSI is at least basically just completely used up, and so you would think buyers would step in here pretty soon with all this exiting volume. Again, now on the 30-minute, see, the RSI might have a bounce off the moving average, and the MACD is swinging a bit to the upside there. So that's at least one positive, and it looks like we're in a fight right now to reclaim the 20-day moving average on the 30 minutes. So it'd be good if we could get support there. So I want to check one other issue here. I want to go out to the daily on Bitcoin, and then we're going to go to H-bar, and then we're going to wrap this up. So on the 1 day on Bitcoin, what I'm looking for is to see if I have a W reversal on some here that I've marked. Sometimes I mark with these purple lines areas where you might have a break on a W reversal. So, well, if it'll load, looks like we might be frozen. Here we go. No, I'm not seeing it in the higher time frames. There may have been one in the smaller time frames. You can see, though, here on the daily, we've hit this blue Fibonacci circle, and we just dropped on that. And we're about to cross that again, so maybe we get a bounce off the 29,194, and we work our way back up and try and get top side of the 30,547 again. We don't really want to go back down to the 28,121. That would not be good. I'd rather see, it'd be best to check the double bottom in the other time frames. We've at least got the 20-day moving average here on the daily, so that's a good sign. So if you did see a big move down past the 29,194, I suspect we might catch a bounce on the 20-day moving average, roughly right now at about 28,937, right in there, 28,948. So something to look at and pay attention to. You definitely don't want to go down to 27,710, because at that point, just no good. What we need to hope for here on the MACD on the daily is that this is just a brief little downturn, that we're going to get a bounce, that this isn't amounting to something a lot more significant. Unfortunately, it looks like this could be a big left shoulder over here, and that this could be a head that we're putting on, and then perhaps we're going to put on a right shoulder on between the 28,492 and the 27,710. That would be a long-term case. If that's what's going on here, then that larger case with the DXY is going to play out, and the DXY will have a bounce for a while, which will drive the S&P 500 back down, increasing volatility, which would make the VIX kind of move up a bit, not incredibly huge, I don't think, but enough to keep us in that symmetrical triangle case that we have going on the VIX. So yeah, that's kind of a longer term idea there that might be playing out. That's not necessarily going to happen. We got to watch what's happening in these smaller time frames first, but that's just an idea to watch, and look for those levels where you can buy. And lastly, but not least by far, I love my H bar, so we're going to take a look at that right now. Let's see. Tether. Preferred the Tether chart. I've got some more detail on the dollar chart, but that's fine. I don't have anything on the Tether chart right now. Well, you can see a W reversal here, essentially, that has failed. That's a very clear example of that. But we're still getting a bounce, and it looks like we might put in another W right here, which is interesting considering what's going on with Bitcoin right now. But that was one giant bear flag. This may just be another W reversal that fails, and we might get put on a longer bear flag. I would probably avoid buying right now if I were you, but you make your own decisions. That's just something I would be thinking myself, especially if you've already bought at these levels. I'd be waiting for a move down potentially, unless we see a big reversal on the dollar. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. This has been the Market Wolf. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will see you next time.